Hey everyone, welcome back to part 2 of the round pedestal table refinish. Last time I posted a video, we were gluing together the two pieces to make one large table because we don't have the leaf for it. So you can see here that the wood glue dried really nicely. It's nice and clear. I don't know if you can even see it honestly. So I took off all the clamps and the middle support beam just to make sure that it was nice and sound, and the table is very sound. You can roll it around, it stays whole, stays level, it's very nice. So now we're gonna use a Minwax Wood Filler and fill in the holes that were left on the table from me removing the leaf hardware. You don't always have to do this to the bottom of your table. A lot of people really don't care because it's the bottom of the table, you're not really gonna see it. However, there's some dry rot issues and some holes that have had water damage to it. Because this table is so old, I want to make sure that we fill those and make sure the table is nice and sound and it's going to last for a long time. So whenever you start doing this, you want to make sure that the area that you're going to be putting the filler on is nice and clean. I've cleaned off a couple sections. We're just going to work right here and right here, and I'll show you down the middle. And then we're gonna go up the seam here and onto the top. We're not gonna do down at the bottom inside because it already has these two pieces here connecting it, so it'll stay nice and solid and we don't really need to worry about that. So I'm gonna show you how to do it. Now when you're doing this, it is a 16:1 ratio. So I'm just gonna pop the lid here. We're gonna use 16 of this wood filler. This is kind of what it looks like. And I'm just using a screwdriver and mixing it around. Also, when you're doing this, you need to make sure that you're wearing gloves and a face covering. I have a face covering on right now because this stuff is very toxic. So I'm just gonna scoop some of it into the dish. You only want to use about what you can use in about 15 minutes. This stuff dries very quickly. Once you put the hardener in there, it starts to harden right away. So you're gonna mix 16 of the filler, and then we're gonna do one. I'm gonna close it immediately. And one of the hardener. This is the little hardener. It all comes in it when you buy it. It comes inside the lid. Don't really have to buy them separately. I'm just gonna squirt a little bit in there and drop it in there. Super. This is why you always keep paper towel around too. That way, if you do make a mess, you can just wipe it off real quick and put it away. And mix this up real quick. And then we're going to be using a putty knife to putty this into it. This wood filler sands down super well, very easily sandable. So you can be kind of sloppy with it. You really need to hurry. So whatever you have left over, you can just sand down. So we're just going to take a little bit in our putty knife here and kind of just slap it on there, like so. It's just like puttying drywall. If you've ever puttied drywall, then you can do this. And honestly, if you haven't, you can do it. It's not hard. You always start with more than what you think you'll need, and then you can scrape away and into the cracks. And then when you sand it, you make it nice and even. This is always so relaxing to me and enjoyable. I love doing it. Stinky stuff, man, but it's fun to do. We'll go down the center here. like I said, just slap it on there, and then you can wipe away all the excess with your putty knife. I use a small putty knife. This is just a 1-inch, I think. It's just easier to get in little tiny places, and I have more control with it because I have smaller hands. But you can really use any size you want. You don't have to, doesn't really matter. I have bigger ones that I use for different jobs. Like I said, I'm not going to go into where these wood sections are because it's really hard to reach in there with a sander, so it'd be almost nearly impossible. I'd have to hand sand it, and nobody is ever going to see it. And it's not going to hurt the integrity of the table whatsoever. So I'll fill in the holes right here. Doing a lot so it sinks in there and kind of just smush it down and pull away all the excess. And I like to scrape it in there and kind of gather it all up again and flop it in there. Hardware really left a lot of holes, so yeah, so that's the basic gist of it. I hope that helps you guys understand what I do when I wood fill, fix these tables. It's a little bit unnecessary of a step, but I like to make sure that when I sell a product, it's the best it can be, and it's gonna last you for a long time. Quality over quantity. Yeah, so that helps you, hope that helps you understand that. And then once that dries, I'll show you guys how I sand it down. I'm gonna sand everything down to a clean surface, and then I will go over it and we'll stain it a beautiful American walnut, which is my favorite stain. And then I'll show you guys what the pedestal looks like, and we'll paint that. And I picked up some chairs, so we'll paint those as well. I look forward to joining you, having you guys join me along this process. I hope this helps you. I hope you guys have a great day.